Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Gathering of Old Men podcast. I am here by myself right now, waiting on Chairman Deveron Gibbons. Hopefully, we get a chance to interview him. I know he's a busy man, so sometimes things happen. This happened before and we rescheduled, so it's not anything that we weren't prepared for. But we'll, give him some time and get him back on. But to catch everybody up, just recently we had a FAMU Board of Trustees meeting, and there were a lot of things that were brought up and a few things that weren't brought up. And I kind of wanted to talk to Chairman Gibbons about some of those things that weren't brought up and also highlight the successes as well as the things that weren't brought up. As you know, in this podcast, we are very pro athlete. We are very player compensation. So we wanted to talk about a marriage of revenue sharing and NIL, which is something that every major university is doing. And I kind of wanted to talk about, what were the plans for Florida A&M. Again, right now, I'm not sure. I'm waiting to hear back from Chairman Gibbons. But I will go through a couple of highlight slides that I thought were of interest, at least to me, right? So one of the things that was of interest to me was the fundraising and the fundraising comparisons and what constituencies were donating and who were donating more. It looks like, and again, that right now, overall numbers are up, but the corporate donors are currently down. If I'm reading that correctly, that looks like what that is. And kind of want to discuss that and what the strategies were to increase those corporate dollars. In a step, expanding on that idea, again, pushing a narrative. What's going on, sir? So, but expounding on what we think is important for FAMU athletics. And again, we are athletics centered because again, you have Marlo that's have FAMU athletic background. You have Doc who has a FCS athletic background and Jackson State background. So we're more athletically focused when it comes to the topics that we talk about. So looking at this chart and expounding upon that, hey, wouldn't it be a great idea if you could take our corporate partnerships, get our athletes involved to promote those businesses who donate to FAMU through the third party collective that has been working for the last 3 years and get NIL brand deals with our corporate partners. Again, things that naturally come up when you look at the data. And we are a big fan of data, but we're also actualizing data. Like, this is wonderful data. But what can we do with this data? Okay. So again, these are, I just spoke with Deveron. These are things that, we like to look at because you can always get better. Despite our wins, we can always get better. And in this current landscape of NIL player empowerment, these are easy things to incorporate into a already functioning third party NIL collective that has been doing the good work. They've been doing nutrition in the summer. They've been covering athletes. We've had athletes that have had brand deals with Krispy Kreme. We've had alumni that have made sure that certain athletes don't get away to other schools because they've personally donated to the collective. By the way, that's Fan Exchange, to the collective to make sure we don't lose those athletes. So these are things that, I definitely want to get across and get Chairman Gibbons' ideas on. I would love to have Trustee Crossman on. I've reached out to Crossman. Well, the only contacts that I have for Crossman, I reached out. So if you guys have any way to get in contact with Crossman, hey, shoot him my information. Would love to have him on and discuss it because he's now the athletics board chairman. So would love to have him on. But again, this is just one of the slides that I kind of was interesting to me. Another thing that was interesting to me because we've talked about, wanting to see a plan. And I guess this was the first time we actually got to see sort of a plan from Athletic Director Davis. And again, short amount of time. I'm sure he's putting all these things together and you get the job and then you got to get ready for a board of trustees meeting. We kind of understand there isn't a formalized plan to the fan base, but we got the inner workings of a plan. Again, revenue generating strategy. I like these ideas. I would like to have. There go Deveron right here. What's going on, sir? Hold on. I may not be able to hear you. Hold on, let me make sure. Oh wait, you're muted. You're muted, sir. Well, while we get that worked out, we saw the beginnings of the plan. Increased ticket sales. You also saw the social media posts where the athletes were calling to check and see if season ticket holders were renewing season tickets. That is a wonderful marketing plan. Love that. Absolutely love that. If you are a previous season ticket holder, think about renewing your season tickets. While you're renewing your season tickets, donate to the collective. Okay. All right. You Deveron, you're muted for some reason. You gotta
Yeah, I stay muted because I got a lot of background noise, and I don't want to
okay.
have y'all listening to all that behind me.
Well, I like I said before, I was gonna keep it short. Kind of want to get your thoughts on the current athletic giving when it comes to both corporations and alumni and friends of FAMU giving. That overall the numbers are up, but the number of donors are down.
Yeah, it seems like the history of FAMU related to athletic giving has been a struggle. We're working really hard and diligently as a board with the foundation folks, Brandy Tatum, who's doing an excellent job, by the way, trying to figure out how to get more resources in, but also a lot better organized. And one of the things that we're doing is we're moving to this one FAMU plan. And I'll be able to get into more detail next time you have me on. But at the current time, what we're trying to do is, again, move towards unanimity and making sure that people understand where their dollars are going, what they're being utilized for. We're not just trying to retire debt. We're trying to build a program, build new facilities, be competitive, making sure that we get quality coaches, quality athletes. And so, the actual giving is down in terms of the amounts. I got it right. The amount is down, but the donors are up. So that means they're giving smaller gifts. But I also think that this is an opportunity for us to kind of reorganize, restructure, and come back even stronger.
Okay, now one of the things that we talk about here on this show, and me and you've talked about it offline before, we do have a collective, and with major athletics now, the universities are using revenue share and collectives to kind of bridge the gap. And again, our athletes aren't asking for a lot. Our athletes are basically asking for rent money, essentially, right? Is it a possibility that we can get both our athletic department or anybody in the administration to acknowledge that we have a working collective that can bridge the dollars that have been donated for athletes with our revenue share. So if, for instance, if we're giving a player $500 in rev share, and the collective can turn around and give another, $2,000-3,000 in NIL third party, how do we get both the athletic department and Fang Exchange in accord with each other so that we can move in unison and we can be competitive? Because our competition, and I don't like to say their name a whole bunch, but Jackson State has a working collective that is doing major work, and their competitiveness is showing from the dollars that their donors are giving, both through their foundation and through their third party collective.
Those are good points. Remember, we're working on a strategy to do that, exactly what you're saying, but we got to get in alignment and get on the same page to get organized. FAMU has operated from a position of great tradition and history and have been doing well. We want to move to excellence on all of things athletics. And so we're working towards that. Jackson State, to be very honest with you, did not move in that vein or that direction until Dion got there and they were able to get those things set up. And so they're carrying on a tradition of things that was set up because they had a super.
We lost Chairman Gibbons. We'll give him a couple seconds to get back. Again, that's one of the things that we definitely want to get to. I'm glad that we were able to address it. And again, because all these moving parts are happening, things are going to take time. It's not going to move as fast as I want it to, definitely, but as long as it's moving, I think we're moving in the right direction. While we're waiting on Chairman Gibbons to get back. One of the other things that came out of the Board of Trustees meeting were the 5 strategic pillars, which I think is an excellent model that we can take a look at. But again, these are something that we've had plans implemented before. We just got to be diligent and to make sure that we're continuing to fulfill the promises that we've made to the fan base and the alumni. Again, one of the things that I think is something that we should be proud of is the progress of the spring. And with the women's side of athletics doing extremely well, we just got to get the men pushed up a little bit more, and I think we'll be fine. The men's basketball program, I think that's a blip on the radar. I think that'll get corrected because we had a lot of transfers. You're going to have those issues. I think the men's basketball program is a blip on the radar, but we are moving forward in a good direction with the men's football, or the football program moving
I got you now. I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Did you hear what I said? I don't know if you got everything.
No, you actually dropped out when you were talking about getting everything.
We need to get Jackson State. Actually, they've carried on the program that Dion put in place, and so it's really it's not apples to apples. They had a Hall of Famer who had resources that came to the table in a major way. We're trying to move in that vein, but we're also trying to make sure that we get in and get organized so that people can know that we're reducing the debt in athletics. I think last month we had month before last, we had a good month from the BOG who released us from debt. And so what we got to do is get smarter, get organized so that we can operate out of the red and get into the black and elevate the athletic programs. And that's where we're headed with the organizational stuff that we're doing. I think you'll see that by the end of the year, we'll be way down the road on it. Like I said, Brandy Tatum is doing an excellent job over at Foundation. And our athletics programs are working really hard with all the folks there, trying to make sure that when we get dollars in, we can account for them, we can show how they're going to use and reduce the amounts that the university has to come up with to help athletes.
All right, I think think we covered everything. I know we're still a little bit further away from asking AD Davis if we're going to start doing a rev share surcharge on ticket prices. I think we're a little bit ways away from that right now, so we'll table that till later.
Let me,
And
I can jump in on that one. I think
okay,
we're a little too we're not. We need to be better organized. It's like running a corporation. You need to go in and do a fine audit and make sure you know where all the blind spots are, the things that you don't know, and what has happened over history and time. We've seen the bad things that have happened over history. Right? The family does a good job at a lot of things. Like we have done a good job of holding this thing together without getting a lot of money from the state and anywhere else, right? And so we know that we can operate, but we got to go in and make sure that we know where all the bodies are buried, keep our rich history and tradition, and then continue to get better at raising money and organizing it. And one of the main things that we have heard over the years that I have heard is has been that we don't get information about where the money's gone, how it was spent. We're going to do that for our donors. We're going to make sure they know what they're doing, how it impacted the program, how it impacts students, and how it impacts the university. So we're gonna get close to that. I think we're too close, too far away to be talking about surcharges. You just if you raise it, you're just charging it, you're just passing it on to the consumer. And we don't want to just pass it on to our alumni and the folks that are buying tickets. We want to make sure we're doing the right thing by them first. Like make sure we're actually spending money properly, doing what we can with what we have, living within our means before we just start like asking for more money.
so okay, so I don't know if we got into it, and again, I only got a chance to watch about 2 hours of the Board of Trustees meeting. Have we set up measurable milestones for this accountability yet, or are we still working on that process?
I think we have a study that's just been completed, and Brandy and her staff and other folks, along with the president, I've asked them to take a hard look at it and come back with the KPIs and measurables and how we're going to change and do this one FAMU plan to make sure that, again, we're on the same page. I'll give you an example, and I hate using the University of Florida, but I'm going to use it anyway. Like a lot of schools, USF, University of Florida, they have a card that goes out to alumni, and on that card it has every program that you can give to, whether it's an alumni program, whether it's an athletics program, you can check the box. And then, 4 or 5 weeks later, they send you a note back saying, hey, thank you for your donation. Here's where it went. Here's where you said you wanted to go. Here's what it was utilized for. We're going to get smarter about doing things in that along the same vein, but in a more traditional way that is better for FAMU. But what we're going to do with the one FAMU plan is we're going to be able to also track it. Like at the end of the year, we need to be touching folks 6, 7, 8 times to make sure that we not just tap them out. If it's $20 they can give, let's see if they can give $20 a month. If it's $100 they can give, and we haven't had in the past a system that allows us to know, that this person has moved up in their income level. We don't poll. We haven't done a lot of things. So now, like I said, we're gonna get smarter. We're gonna move to better intelligence around the donors and the donor base. And we're going to be able to come back and be more efficient and effective in raising money, but also in spending.
And with this, with the study that you guys have that you've decided to enact, do you have a release date of that study? Will that be publicly released at a Board of Trustees meeting?
It probably will be. I don't know which one. More than likely it'll be September. Brandy's working hard with her staff trying to get all that stuff brought out to the forefront. But I don't want to push them to get it out without having done their due diligence.
Right. All right. Again, I do appreciate you coming on. I know Board of Trustees meeting, everybody has like a ton of questions right after that, and I appreciate you taking time out.
No, man, anytime, man. You know better, Troy. Anytime you need me, I'll be there. I appreciate you having me on today. And and I want all the Rattlers to know out there you're doing a good job keeping us informed. And anytime I can come on to help inform Rattlers, Rattler Nation, I'll do that. But keep up the good work and go Rattlers.
All right, thank you, man. Hey, I will see you. Are you going to be at Media Day, or are you going to be?
I probably will. I'm trying to be now. I've been on a plane like every 16 hours in the last 3 days, so I'm going to try to be there. So, but I'm more than likely I will. So I'll see you then.
All right, I'll see you then.
All right.
Thank you, sir. All right, guys. So that was the interview. We will have our normal 8 o'clock podcast. We will have the guys on. We will go through the interview. I will see you guys at 8 o'clock, same bat time, same bat channel, and we will dig into all the stuff that we talked about and the Board of Trustees meeting. Again, thank you for helping Fat Mouth Sports. You guys have been so supportive. You run the numbers up. I am always grateful. I will see you guys at 8 o'clock. As always, lead with love.